Hi there and welcome back to History of Fleetwood Mac, my Rumours LP collection, part 3. Thank you for hanging out with me for part 1 and 2, and I'm sorry to have made this into 3 parts. I just thought it would be much simpler to make smaller videos for everybody to stay focused and interested and possibly come back at another time. And certainly these are going to be broken up, maybe released, hopefully back to back to back, but still with a little time so you're able to catch up. I left off on Rumours from Holland, I believe, with White Copy, and I think the very last one I showed was from El Salvador. And going forward from there, we're going to go Rumours from Germany. And as I also spoke about in the last video, I spent a lot of time looking up the color for Rumours. And it's funny because there have been quite a few debates going on the colors, with people mentioning it being beige, yellow, them thinking that they had something very different with a really bright yellow, noticing that the bright yellow seemed to be from other countries. I noticed only up until recently, even from this one we're about to go to next, Germany, to say something that got released in 2024, just right off the bat, even though it's kind of hard to tell in the light. The 2024, the later they get, the more recent they are, the lazier they get with the yellow background. They don't keep it quite as real as all these old ones did. I would really like to be the person to find out exactly what color that yellow is. I don't know how to find that out. It'd be funny to take it to a Sherwin-Williams or something like that and try and have them match the yellow. I'm sure people have. I know there's a motorcycle that was painted with the Rumours artwork, and a lot of yellow was done to it. And I also want to say a Fiat, one of those little cars, I can't remember. Somebody had one designed, and it was yellow, and on the top part was the Rumours album cover. This picture, and then Fleetwood Mac was somewhere else on it, but they had that yellow. So a couple places have found the color pretty much the best match that they could, but even in whatever you use today, we don't know what the color was called when it came out in 77. And in my opinion, nothing is beige. It's always got a yellow hue to it. I think the beiginess that we call it, and if we ever use that term, again, comes to be the lack of focus and the just reprint opportunities that are taken with more current issues of Fleetwood Mac Rumours, both on LP, CD, cassette if they were, but certainly CD and vinyl. I noticed there's still the slightest hue of yellow, but um, it is more of I guess, a beige color. But this I'm still going to call kind of a pastel cream yellow, and the bright one I'm going to call it a limoncello yellow, because that's just what it reminds me of. Also, the font is indeed, there's not a full A to Z. Somebody did create one on Etsy and sold it, which is cool, but kind of not, because this was specifically designed by Larry, and I think his last name is, I think, Vignon. So Vignon or something. I cannot say it right, and I could not also find anywhere where it was sounded out for me. So if anybody's related or that person out there, I truly apologize, because your work really matters to me, and I wish I were saying your name correctly or knew how to say the name correctly. So with that all said, again, we're moving on to the Germany, and again, this one has a slight texture, not quite the same. This one, though, has the wider type label, and it does have the lines. Well, no, I don't see them. Usually, as I pointed out with the 45s, you could normally see the lines going through there, but they would get paler, but I just don't see one of them here. I see a cat hair, though, which is great. That's sexy, right? Very Who likes pet hair? Boy, on the back you sure can. It is very textured. You can really see the texture on the back. And I guess once out of the plastic, it's a little bit more visual. I still think that this is a later printing of the album. This is in really nice shape. And then made in Germany. It's focused right there. We strictly have the... Actually, this has no insert. Could just be missing. Could be that a later issue just wasn't issued with one. Just had a paper sleeve. And like I said, the white-ish label. But not the palm trees. So in my opinion, later. Next, it's Rumours GDR, German Democratic Republic. So I'm going to guess because of that, this is pretty old. And it also states here, this was a label at the time. The back of the record is slightly different, visually unique. I do believe that this is legitimate. This is definitely a shiny. Still has the yellow hue. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The write-up about them is dated 1979. So this is at least a couple years after the album came out. No, let me see if I'm right. No insert. And this is the label. Definitely stands out as unique. Not much to that one, but pretty cool. Not sure, probably I found that one on eBay. I haven't looked at that one in a while. That was really nice looking. This is a Germany... Rumours Germany 1997 reissued. This one is numbered. So the other thing too about some of these that I've noticed myself is that some of these run in box sets. Like there's 3 more copies I personally have that are in box sets that I'm not going to bring up because to me, as I told you about this, the Go Your Own Way Silver Springs 12-inch. They're only pertinent to me in the box set. They're not of no importance to me on the outside as strictly copies of Rumours. These could have been purchased at a time, possibly in a box. I know there are a couple box sets. In case in point, I was going to show this at the very end, but this is a box set I'll be showing later. And I thought it was an album, but it is in fact a CD box set. So I will be showing this and talking about this in my CD collection. But there have been box sets where, the vinyl's issued. There's a certain box, and I thought I had one, but I think it's maybe just this that I was thinking of. But I thought I had another one that was a proper box with an LP inside of it. And actually, that was just about it. Seemed like there was a booklet or something, but again, I think I'm thinking about that one. But this was issued in 1997, a numbered special, number 2156, out of I'm not sure how many. Again, made in Germany. And we have the wider label as shown earlier. And much thicker vinyl as well. Yeah. Again, unless it's missing. No. Well, hold on. This is kind of cool. Oh, well, there you have it. That's what this was. Collector's edition. So it looks like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 records were chosen, including Paul Simon's Graceland, Talking Heads Remain in the Light, Ricky Lee Jones, Randy Newman, Donald Fagen, and Fleetwood Mac, to be a numbered box set. Numbered series, not box set. And, yeah, but oddly enough, again, unless it's missing, this does not have an insert, a proper insert, like the other records, which is odd. I would think to be a kind of a special, kind of a promo and time put into it, that they would at least still give you the insert. So it could be that that's missing. I really don't know on these things. I just grab them when I can see them. And always keep looking. If I find another one of these, I would check it. And if it had the insert, I would buy it just to get the insert. Be able to put everything together as complete as it was meant to be. So, next up we have Rumours from USSR 1991. This is an unofficial copy. And again, you'll see the distinguished difference. This is that, again, leaning towards the limoncello yellow. Very bright. Funny about this one is that it kind of reminds me of those Taiwan ones. It's just not wrapped in saran wrap. Looks like it's just like they found their own yellow paper and then cut it out, the picture, and then pasted it on. You know, early Photoshop. The back is just a Xerox, virtually. It's still somewhat put together nicely. I mean, they made the effort to make a proper, you know, put it on the spine and everything like that. But there's nothing, no information here on the back. No made in anywhere, no, you know, no thank yous, no nothing. And it is put out on something called, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce this, but just a very unique label. So that stands out as one of my favorites too, because of how different it is. But definitely my most favorite, and you're going to say probably Japan, and no, that is this odd bird out. Actually, this might be my favorite record in my collection, and this is Fleetwood Mac's Rumours from Czechoslovakia. And obviously the reason it's my favorite is because we have a completely different cover. This is a legitimate release from everything I have found, complete with Warner Brothers. Licensing, it looks like it's licensed approved. Why, however, they did not use the cover and went with this is anybody's guess. I found no information about this. They could certainly be faking that it's licensed and approved by Warner Brothers, but they certainly put the effort into putting their mark on it, their hack on it. There is a full write-up on the back. There's Warner Brothers here as well. Their label, catalog number as well, a write-up, titles, song titles, and credits. So this one just really stood out as unique because yeah. And this is the label for that, again with Warner Brothers. I mean, complete with all this around here. I mean, I've seen some bootlegs where they try to make it look more and more official, but you can see that they are trying to make it look official. This looks very official. And I have seen others. They're scarce. I mean, scarce. Not very expensive per se, but scarce. And but yeah, I do believe this is 100% on the up and up, as accurate, and you know, just from where it was at, just you know, Rumours, as we talked about, number wise, was reaching so many places that everybody wanted, you know, a shot at it, a copy. So maybe they couldn't get the photography licensing. Maybe that's why. With Warner Brothers, because maybe Warner Brothers could make a deal with them, just thinking off the cuff and logistically, but maybe with Herbert and all the everything else, maybe they couldn't get that. Maybe that's why. So yeah, well, I've just found that to be very interesting and a great have in my collection. I've had this for many years, and it always surprises people when I show it to them. So it's really fun to bring this out. This is definitely, probably not, okay, approved. This is Rumours from Taiwan. And we had mentioned, like, the White Album from Taiwan. This has no saran wrap, but it has their catalog number. Has the lyrics on the back. No insert. Nice of them to take some time to put the lyrics, though, and at least, copy that. Especially for, a country with likely no, not a lot of English-speaking people, but they enjoyed the music. But, instead of writing down the lyrics so that people from that country could read it and understand, they still put it down in English, which I just thought was interesting. And then this is the label. But 99% sure that that's not licensed whatsoever, that this is a bootleg. And I believe that Discogs has it as unauthorized. And if something's unauthorized, once in a while you can buy it. You can score it, but 9 times out of 10, if it's unauthorized, they're going to block the sale or just impede the sale button toggle to not let that happen. So your best bet is finding people who have it possibly on Discogs, which used to be a thing. You used to be able to make contact with people who had it, or just looking on eBay. Similarly, we have the next one from China. And this is a bit of a mixture, actually. This is the best of compilation, but I put it with my Rumours because it would have come out at Rumours time. So we have the inside fold-out cover picture. We have the back with half of the lyrics. So the first half is basically a combination of Rumours and Fleetwood Mac. The second side is a combination of Rumours, Fleetwood Mac. They have Man of the World, and Oh Well Part 1 and 2. So a little hodgepodge of everything. But this one is also an unofficial. But, they took the time. It's a pretty nice cover. It's got the saran wrap thing, no insert. The sound is not bad on it either. So that was interesting. I wondered what they copied from, what they were able to, what they transferred from to put on here. And the label for that one, which is upside down. How charming. Sorry about that. So that would be from China, compilation. Now we have my first Rumours, my first and only actually, from Japan. And I'm not sure that this is complete. Rumours, copies of Rumours from Japan are very expensive. I would like to think that this is a original. I'm pretty sure it is. What with the Obi strip only going as far as Rumours. These are called Obi strips. I'm sure you all know that, but just in case. Obi strips are on 12-inch records, LPs, and on CDs often. I have yet to see one on a 7-inch record sleeve. Not that there isn't, but I don't believe I've ever seen one. So Obi strips is what they're called, are prominent on 12-inch LP size things. They became, I don't know why they're just as prominent on CDs. I think because CDs were really the replacement of LPs. I've never seen an Obi strip on a cassette tape. I've never seen an Obi strip on a 45. The nice thing about Japanese LPs, much like the 45s, is there's usually just a little something more. Starting off with that Obi strip. But this one has a really nice sheet of paper with what I can only guess is a nice write-up about the album. And then information about the track listing with that nice picture of them in the background. And it's textured and really nice, and this one is in really, really nice shape. And this one is still inclusive of the American sheet, and this is also textured just like the album cover. Very, very, very nice craftsmanship into this. And then the vinyl is simplistic as far as not much difference on it. Actually, no Japanese on the record at all. But it has the palm tree label. Yeah, I believe that to be pretty close to a 77, maybe up to a 79 release of Rumours from Japan. Now, this will be short and pretty easy because I'm just going to kind of skim through these. These are mostly now all reissues. And it seemed to me when I pulled all these out that I'm missing a couple things. But I could be wrong. And again, I thought I thought I had another box set that wasn't just that CD. So we'll wrap up with one release that came out in 2009. Two actually came out. And they are Palace Press. And one was just a single disc, but recorded at Palace Press, which I guess is a affluent pressing plant with better sound quality and better plates to re-release the LP, reissue the LP with better sound and quality. This one is sealed, but this would be the single version of the LP. And this came out again in 2009. And then they also released a double version, which I don't know why this bag is so buggered. Gotta have it in. Oh, goodness. But, so it is released at 45 RPM. That's how you play it. And again, that, and it has a pretty bad scuff on the cover. I remember getting this now. And then, what's funny about this is, again, we're leaning towards beige, but it's really kind of cool. You can't really see it, but it's indented here. Kind of, there's a texture to this. And if you look at Stevie and Mick on here, they're shiny. They're shinier versus the background. It's really quite lovely. I wish it was still leaning more towards the yellow side of its originality, but this one is really nice. And then each side comes with a sheet that was like the insert that was normally there. Let's see what's back here. It's been a while since I've taken this one out. Sorry, just the one insert within the second LP. So those were really nice. Those were really special releases that came out in 2009. This one is the harder of the two to find. So if you find this one, grab it, because it is hard to come by. So those were the 2009 releases. Then we get into the 2021 first release by Target. The vinyl is gold in color. Yeah, I keep all these closed because it's just, to be honest with you, we have so much available in quality sound. And, it's not always what I look for. I mean, of course we want it to sound good, but I have this on DVD, I have this on CD, I have this on Nautilus vinyl, I have this on a box set later, which, I did listen to, and the sound was pretty good on that. But, when these discs come out, I don't poo-poo the colored vinyl sound. Some are really great, some are terrible. The more messing around with vinyl that you do, the more the difference, picture discs, for example. A lot of people don't like that because you have vinyl, you have a picture, literally, in the middle, pressed between another piece of vinyl. So people feel that the grooves on the record are not going to be as true a sound because it's having to work too hard to get into those grooves because of how it's stacked like an Oreo, if you will, versus just an album with grooves on one side, grooves on the other side, nothing in the middle, just vinyl with grooves. And also to clear the air for perfectionists who don't like certain wording, like we don't like vinyls. That's not a word. That doesn't exist. You don't have vinyls. You have records, plural, or you have vinyl, singular. Or you have a vinyl collection, which means a collection of singular vinyl records. But people say that stop calling colored vinyl because black vinyl is colored vinyl, which is a true fact. But what we're trying to convey is that the standard vinyl that we're accustomed to is black. And so when you start messing around with it, and, you know, also, even if they have original printer plates anymore, which I can't imagine they do, imagine those, you know, that's why there are so many reissues and repressings. You know, I don't know where these ones came from. Again, that would be in the runoff, which last video I said burn off. I don't know where I said that from, but I meant runoff, which is that very end in the at the end, you know, the fade out part where it says plants, and it could be, you know, bring more pertinence to the release if it is from a certain plant, happens to be on colored vinyl on gold. But for me, just these are just novelties, and if one is open, I'll play it, or if I hear that one has a really particular sound, I'll give it a whirl just to see. But for me, I kind of buy them at this point, these more current ones, because they're coming out like that, just over and over and over again. So, case in point would be, and I did mention this in one of my earlier videos pertaining to Rumours, we have the Onslaught of 2024, which this was Rumours from HMV, which I'm pretty sure is a clothing store. Or am I wrong? That's H&M. HMV is that a European? Why am I blanking out? Maybe it is a European, like, gosh, what was the other record store we used to have? Anyway, maybe it is. HMV is possibly a record place in the UK. This one is supposedly on, this one I got open, green. I will say I'm partial to green. It's my favorite color, so I think this one I opened just to see the shade of green because it's pretty. And it kind of goes with the aesthetic of the Rumours album. Some of these other ones that came out, later we talked Stevie Nicks and some of the other, well, even some of the copies of Rumours, you know, a pretty yellow, or again a beige or a bone. I guess bone would be a good color to say for the later copies. Not beige, bone, a bone shade, if you want to get all fancy about it. Or black, or black and white, like tuxedo, like Vinyl Me Please did a tuxedo version where it was black and white, and that was for the White Album, which I've yet to get that one. But yeah, but some of these records that come out, you're just like, where are you picking this color from? This has nothing to do with the scheme. It's not necessarily complimentary. I mean, anything is complimentary to, you know, kind of that weird yellow and black and white. But, you know, this kind of plays into the story of the label. When I see green pertaining to this album, I think of California, all the trees, you know, all the manicured lawns of Beverly Hills. If you want to play into the whole California album, green really worked for me. This next one coming up, which is Grape Purple, I don't get any context from that whatsoever. And I like purple. It's nothing against purple. It has no context for me and relevance to the album other than just being another color of Rumours to sell to people like me who are completists and want to buy it all. guilty as charged. It's a lovely purple, but I mean, disco purple, but this is not a disco album. You know, 70s disco, sure. Yeah. But when I think of 70s disco, when you think of 70s disco, do you think Fleetwood Mac Rumours? I know. And this one was issued by, I already forgot. This one was issued by, also in 2024 by Amazon. This was an Amazon exclusive. I'm missing, I think, at least two more colors. I believe there is a turquoise. And another company that puts out a wine banking clothing store is Urban Outfitters. Definitely a clothing store, to my knowledge, right? And I want to say that they have a turquoise color one, which the California Ocean, maybe? I'm trying here. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, in 2024, we also got for Record Store Day, much like the White Album copy, we got a first picture disc of Rumours, which looks nice. I like the picture disc of the white one better for some reason. On the White Album, they had the Rumours up here, and it complemented the kind of the cutout and circulate, you know. I think it would have looked nice if they kind of put the Fleetwood Mac, because it gets kind of narrow in the middle, like they've done the large F in Fleetwood and the M and the AC or something like that, and then Rumours down here. I think that just would have looked nice. Dumb, but just my opinion. But yeah, so that was for Record Store Day last year. I want to say Black Friday. Pretty sure that's correct, yeah. This came out in 2013, I want to say. So I'm a little out of order here, but this would be the box set, the complete box set. This has it's a 5-disc set. They have the regular album. Well, they have, by album, I mean the CD of the full Rumours. A second CD of outtakes. A CD, this actually a DVD. Fourth disc of, I think, recordings, I think is how it works. And then the disc 5 is actually a 2-disc set. So the record in here, I want to say it's a fold out. It's a gatefold. It's two. Let's see. We're not running too far behind here. One, two, three, four, five. No, sorry. So one record. Yeah. So 4 CDs, or 1, 2, 3, 4 CDs and 1 DVD, and then the record. And a really nice booklet. This was very nicely packaged. This is, this is one I didn't mind so much buying. When people are really hollering about all the reissues and stuff. I don't know. I thought this was a nice. Actually, all the box sets were really nice. The additional items, the demos and such like that, were phenomenal. And I think the winner of all the demos, although the ones on here are really good, I want to say the demos for Mirage were just amazing. Anyway, and then later, because, they just can't cash in enough, they did a singular release. If you did not want to buy the album and everything like that, you could get the outtakes, the demos, on a record all its own. So this would be another Record Store Day. And I want to say this came out in 2013, 2014. Whatever month and year. Record Store Days are April and Black Friday, so November. So April, November. So whenever this came out, the box set, this would have followed up the following year, or whatever was next. So yeah, or maybe not. Maybe this is later. I don't know. Anyway, so those are those two items, and then we got in 2023 we got Rumours Live, an album from a concert from 1977, August 29th, 1977, if I'm not mistaken. This one, just for interest, I don't know when you're watching this, and I probably won't have changed it by that time, but the picture in my channel description or whatever like that is a poster, and it says August 29th, 77. That poster was issued. If you bought this album and you bought it early enough at the time it was available, you were able to get that poster. I was unable to get that poster, most unfortunately. In addition, promo-wise to this, there is a slip mat, which is a mat of I just forgot the term for it. Not velvet. Oh my God, Anita! It's a slip mat you put on your record player, and it treats your felt. A felt. That's a big word I couldn't find. A thick felt, and you put it down on the plate of your record player. And oftentimes they're most commonly made of felt, like a dense, thick felt, but sometimes they're corkboard. And when you put that down and you put your record on top of it, it gives your record a more even play. So if there's any dips or there's any variable in if your plate is not exactly centered, it makes playing your record a little more gentle under the needle. If you're any interest, and on that slip mat it shows the Rumours with the O with them in there, and that too was available. That was a promo item that I'm seeking, actually, if anybody wants to contact me about that. Yeah, nothing on neither the poster nor the slip mats anywhere says official Warner Brothers promo stuff, but those were items that came out at the same time as this. And then right on the heels of this being released, Walmart decided to have their own version in clear vinyl, because why not? We're Walmart, we can do stuff. So they did the exact same thing, no promo from here, because this is all Walmart. But the Warner Brothers initial one came with that poster, and not came with it like inside. Just if you went to a record store or ordered online, you were able to get the poster and or the slip mat, just of general interest. And wrapping it up was one that I found. I just got this the other day, and I hadn't put it into my circulation yet. This was a nice record, actually really, really well done. Another bootleg, however. Beautiful, though. I will give credit where credit's due. It's very nicely packaged. And this is Fleetwood Mac Live in 1977. A very good show in Japan. And an actual used photo of them, which when I get to my scrapbook pages, I have quite a bit from this. And I have quite a bit, actually, which is interesting, of their tour manager at the time. She had a lot of photos of them and her with the band or at the same time. So I have a little bit of an alternate insight to this visit to Japan through her photography, her photographs, and some journal entries about going to the show. And but it's nice that they actually used, whoever did this put actually photos of them in concert in Japan and of their actual visit to Japan, and a small write-up about going there, and song listings and where they were all from, because there were quite a few dates in Japan. And then, where was this all one? No, 1 through 13 was in Tokyo. And the last two, 14 through 16, which is Why Over My Head and World Turning, were from the Midnight Special in 1976. These people just mixing it all up. Just put the damn show together. But still, it's very nice. And I'm grateful to have it. And it sounds pretty good. But yeah, so that was one that was just new, so it hadn't been filed in yet. My mistake. And a nice labeling as well. Two records, but picture on one side and then Tokyo on the other. So very nice. So that is it for Rumours. I don't think everything else will be three videos. I believe that Rumours is the one I have the most copies of on vinyl, on 12-inch. I have quite a few. I have a good handful of other ones, but I definitely think Rumours was, even this one went 40 minutes, and I tried not to yak on too much, because the end was so easy to talk about, with just being reissues, and more likely you guys, who are watching are more than likely to know more about those than the earlier stuff that I had, depending on how long you're collecting or how old you are or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying probably you're more aware of those than the earlier stuff. But yeah, so next up we will be doing Tusk. And as usual, I'm always grateful for you to be here. I hope you enjoyed this. Ask me anything or talk to me about it. I really like this because I can talk out loud. I was actually making a joke with my boyfriend today that my main concern is when I'm making these videos is that I'm clear. I'm trying to enunciate, but I get very excited. I start talking a little bit too fast. I try really hard to be clear. Let me know if I'm not, if you're able to get me okay. I'm also recording just on a phone, so I'm not sure about volume, how that's coming across. But I like talking to people about this stuff, so shoot me a question or tell me what you think or something. Because yeah, it's a lot of fun to talk about. And I've just as much to say about everything coming up with Tusk. There's some really interesting aspects of Tusk, so that will be next. So until next time, thank you again for this 3 parts on Rumours, and I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.